Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
It's the After the Show podcast, precious.
We don't care, we're about to swear on the air. It's the After the Show, so tune in if you dare. KVJ, get your skate every single day. It's uncensored. We can say what we want to say.
Yeah, hello, and welcome to the Tuesday KVJ After the Show podcast. What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday.
What's up, what's up?
What's up? I got a nice report from my dad. My mom had a good night last night.
Good.
He sent me a text message too. I was tickled pink. He's like, Mama Ann's doing better.
Yeah, she had a good night. And that's really what it is. You know, can you get sleep enough to fight off the COVID that she's got in the hospital on? And it's up and down, man. You know, I know when people deal with this kind of stuff. And wow, what a front row seat I've got to just what a bitch this thing is. And,
a roller coaster.
It is. It's tough. And like I said earlier on the regular show, it is so tough because of the isolation of they can't let the family around the people that are in the hospital. So, they're by themselves going through a scary time. And so it is tough. But for everybody, there are different things. We're all having to deal with it. And, I try to sort it out on a day to day and what does it all mean just from my own personal life. I think we all kind of do that. And, we had some people that sent us some comments, just some questions, because it is going to be interesting yesterday, I think you probably saw the big news that the FDA gave full approval to Pfizer. And, if you don't give a crap about the vaccines or whatever, maybe that doesn't mean anything to you, but I was watching today. They said that you're going to probably see a real domino effect of every place now requiring vaccines. And we had actually gotten this text yesterday. Somebody said, my team and I have been forced to be vaccinated or we are fired on September 15th. I know probably had conversations in the last week with 5 different people facing this. They said, I'd like to speak about this topic and how other companies are dealing with this. Now, who knows? There are actually a couple broadcast companies in our field that have done this. They've mandated it for their employees. If you want to stay employed or at least show up to our buildings, and a lot of them are going to need to show up to their buildings and continue doing their jobs, you have to have the vaccine. And so it's a decision you might have to make. And I saw today on, I think it was a WPBF, they had Kathleen Scott, who's a labor attorney here in Palm Beach County. And she says that there is not much legal cover from employers demanding that you get the vaccine to keep your job. So in a sense, if they say you got to do it, for the most part, it looks like you have to do it. And she said that FDA approval of the Pfizer vaccine is really probably only going to just strengthen the employer's
solidify,
position.
Yeah.
Yeah, and already after that announcement happened yesterday, you had the Pentagon and several large companies and universities announce new vaccine mandates. Carnival Cruise Lines, they're now following, requiring vaccines for Bahamas sailings. So everybody's kind of taking it on. And I saw at the University of Virginia that they actually disenrolled 238 students who wouldn't get the vaccine. And they said, well, you're not going to be a student here then.
Wow.
Yeah. So, that's kind of it. So if you're trying to figure out, okay, what's going on in society and where it's going to affect me, that's one thing. Another thing has to do with testing seems to be the other option. And somebody else texted in and said, do you guys know I'm going to a Jonas Brothers concert in October, and I just got the info yesterday to go. You got to have a negative COVID test. What the hell? In the last 72 hours? How do you do that? How can you know where to go to get results back in a short time frame? And I guess my ultimate question with that is, will they take the test that you can get at Walgreens, and is that good? Or do you have to go to a place that can give you a PCR test where they send it to a lab and you've got to wait a day or an hour or whatever it might be to get it back?
It's a great question. It's kind of the same thing with like a drug test. They the home drug test, and then you have the kind that you get at the labs. They're different.
So
because the home drug tests are easy to cheat, and I think that's the problem with the home test. You're able to manipulate stuff easier.
And would it vary from one event to the next? What they are going to require on what you have to show. Because I remember I did that one time where I had something, they wanted to have a negative test, and I went and I thought I had enough time, and by the time they sent it to the lab and got the results back, it was too late. And you know,
You couldn't get your negative test.
Yeah, and couldn't do
in time for the event.
Right. And I had given it what I thought was enough time. I had given it I think 72 hours, and it wound up taking 5 days.
Damn.
And they even told me I was there. They said, I'll be back in 48 hours. I'm like, cool. I'm like, hey, where's that test? They're like, yeah.
Where the fuck's my test at?
Yes. So imagine you have tickets to the Jonas Brothers. You've spent $100, $200.
Do I have to?
You better go up a little
Okay.
more. Those tickets are more than that.
John Mayer.
Can we change it to the Doobie Brothers?
Yeah. You got front row John Mayer tickets.
All right, I'm in.
You spent $500,
Okay.
and you've got to have that negative test to get in, and you're waiting on a lab to get it back for you, and tick-tock, and you miss the event, and you get your results at 1 a.m. about 2 hours after the event ends.
Damn.
Damn, I'm Miss Mayor.
Can I use your seat?
You can have my seat, yeah.
Thank
But
you.
someone better fucking use these $500 tickets.
Oh, we will get them used. I promise you
Yeah.
that.
Now you maybe want to get front row tickets to the Mayor concert. I think it'd be way more than $500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a good point by Brian and Ryan, in the chat room. The fake cards, and people now, because, you know, as you start to put the squeeze on, and it gets tougher with your jobs, your venues, all that kind of stuff. And like I said, every day I think the dominoes are really going to start falling. They have those fake cards. And when I got my vaccine card, I couldn't believe how easy it would be to replicate.
So easy.
Unbelievably easy. And so what are you going to do? Because you can't, I know people will be, oh, it's going to be an app. You'll have it on your phone. I'm an 86-year-old woman. I can't work the technology. I need to go to the store or whatever it might be. You can't require every person to have that. Or somebody's like, you know what? It'd be nice. I wish I was privileged enough to be able to afford a phone.
When you go into the store, you know, when you go into a Publix or, I don't know, some other store where they have the blood pressure, you put your arm through the circle thing.
Higgy.com.
Is that thing legit or is it figgity fucked? Do those numbers right?
Rocco, my son, is obsessed with the Higgy.com blood pressure check that you can find in most Publix, especially if they have a pharmacy.
But is it one of those things where, you know, when you go into a scale, you're like,
It's a blood pressure cuff. I think it's pretty accurate.
Okay, I feel confident now.
Yeah.
All right.
A cuff's a cuff. I would actually trust the machine more than I would trust a human.
I think I might. Well, I don't want to get down that road. That's messy. We're trusting machines more than humans.
On a cuff? Blood pressure? It's counting. It's looking at a clock. It's counting your beats per minute and whatever.
Not BPMs, yeah. All right.
It just doesn't feel like you should trust your health decisions to just walking into.
A store?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Doesn't seem right.
And that was one of the things that, you know, we were having a conversation yesterday at my house about the vaccine. Because it is kind of interesting because, you know, my mother-in-law, she was in there and we were talking to my daughter Caitlin about it, and my mother-in-law was at Walmart. And Caitlin's like, you got a shot at Walmart?
That happened to my dad is walking around Walmart and someone approaches him and say, hey, do you want your free COVID shot? And my dad wasn't expecting
That's what happened to my mother-in-law,
and
yeah.
my dad goes, no, I'm good. And I go, what, Dad? You didn't want a stranger giving you a shot out of the blue at Walmart?
My mother-in-law took him up on it.
Somebody offered me the COVID shot at Walmart months ago. And I was like, nah, I'm good.
It doesn't seem- just someone randomly.
It's very sweet, and I get what they're doing because, look, when you open up the bottle, it's got an immediate shelf life. It's got to be used. I don't know the time frame on the different ones, but they don't have an infinite number of times you can use this one bottle. They've got to use it that day.
Yeah.
And so if they start drawing off of it, they've got to use it.
But say it out loud, though. I was at the grocery store. I was looking for some cereal, some snacks, and somebody approached me I never met. They wanted to stick me with a needle for some vaccine. And
So they stuck me right there by the Captain Crunch.
and it was free, and then I got my Eggos, and I went home. It just
These are weird
seems fucking
times. These are,
weird.
everything you say is just weird. I still feel like I'm in this weird dream.
Yeah.
Like I've done those at ayahuasca or something. What do you call that stuff?
Ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca. I just can't snap out of this. Yeah, I mean, I go to Publix. I'm like sitting in the egg section.
Yes.
On a chair. I'm like, this is
I'm
kind
cold.
of this is kind of odd. Yeah.
I'm trying to get my sub on.
It's cold by these eggs.
I want my sub. I really don't want to get shot right now. I
Right.
want my-
And then they tell everybody like, well, hey, we just, you know, if you would just sit and chill for 15 minutes and make sure you're okay. Everybody I've talked to, like, going, yeah, cool. They like look around. And about 3 minutes, they're like, going, I'm out. I don't know if anyone's wrote out the clock that 15 minutes.
I mean, if I went to Publix to get a shot, there's no way I'm not leaving with $100 worth of food.
Oh, the Publix loves the fact that they get the COVID shot.
Oh, they see a fuckface like me, and like, we got him. We got him.
Yeah.
He's going to the bakery.
Here he comes. He can't help
Oh,
himself.
he's going to the deli now.
Yeah. So it's all weird. And, to Brian and Ryan's question, yeah, I don't know if they're going to get some kind of national system of accountability, because when you start going in and you got to prove vaccine, how are you going to do that? Because there are going to be a lot of people. They're going to try to fudge the system.
Already are.
And I think right now they're going to be wildly successful doing it.
Just don't do it on TikTok, because there are some vigilantes on TikTok that will hunt you down and dox you for the good.
Oh,
they're Robin Hood doxers, but if people are on TikTok bragging about their fake forged vaccination cards, there are other people that will find you. And I follow this one girl. She is fucking amazing. She will find anybody and she will ruin their life. It is wow to watch.
Every day I'm on this planet, I honestly, I hate the internet that much more. And I know I sound like an old dinosaur saying it. I don't give a fuck. I think the internet's evil, man. I do.
Yeah.
I think it's tearing us apart as people.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Okay. It's valid.
He hates it, except you, porn.
Yeah.
Well, there's some good stuff on there. There's some good stuff on the internet. Look, I get it. I'm a hypocrite.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where they go with that and how they try to cinch that up. I did see that they're going to drop the hammer. Those people that tried to use a fake vaccine card to get back from Hawaii, I think it was, and they got them at TSA.
Oh.
And they gave them, it's a $5,000 fine, a year in jail.
Wow.
Yeah.
$5,000.
They are not playing.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how many of those stick and if that's going to be the standard if they bust you with it, and then how accurately are they going to be able to track it down. So we'll see. You're talking about the internet just being an evil thing.
And I'm being dramatic because there's obviously good
I
things.
hear you, but
but I do feel like it is tearing us apart as a society.
Tell me how much you agree with this article I was reading about. There's a teacher out of Bakersfield, California, who's got a book. He's the author of this book called Hollowed Out, A Warning About America's Next Generation. His name's Jeremy Adams. And he writes that today's youth are, quote, hollowed out, living solitary lives, hyper-connected to technology, but unattached from their families, churches, or communities. He says today's children are barren of the behavior, values, and hopes from which human beings have traditionally found higher meaning or even simple contentment. And he cites statistics showing teen depression rose 63% from 2007 to 2017, and teen suicide grew 56%. And it's now the second leading cause of death of the young.
There's something to it because I'm only speaking on my own feelings and what's going on in my head and in my heart. And I know I'm not so unique to this human experience that I'm the only one experiencing these kind of things. There's certain things I read or I get involved with on the internet, and it brings me down. It makes me depressed. It makes me sad. It makes me feel hopeless.
Yeah.
And I'm a person that really, really believes in hope. I think hope is the main thing we need on this planet. And when that starts to kind of fall away, if I'm feeling that, I know other people are feeling that. And the internet does. It divides, and then the media gets on there and goes, yeah, let's divide it even more. When we were never, ever this divided.
I know.
I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Well, and I think, too, that, you're missing some things. And one of the things that he says, he blames the disillusion of the American family for this shift. Marriage rates are down, number of traditional two-parent homes plummeting. He said studies have shown that regular family dinners leads to less youth smoking, binge drinking, marijuana use, violence, school problems, eating disorders, and sexual activity. And he said most of the students that he has in his school in Bakersfield, California, say they eat dinner alone each night, focused not on family, but on the device in their hand. He says the neglect of family life is one of the greatest causes of the hollowing out, not only of students, but of American life.
It's also turning people into fuckfaces. People, I'm sorry, people are ruder.
And if you were already a fuck face, you're a fucker face.
Oh, fuckfaces love the internet. They can stir up so much shit. One insect can damage so much grain, and that's what happens. People are wondering why we're divided and why we're depressed. The social media, anybody can fucking ruin your day in line now. You can be in line and go, I'm gonna fuck with Ralston. Fuck you, Kevin.
right.
You suck. Your hair looks
Yeah.
like shit. Send.
Yeah.
It's so easy to do.
Well, and I think the question is, how do you get the genie back in the bottle?
You can't.
Yeah, and maybe you can. And I think we're kind of dealing with that with the climate stuff that is going on. We're like, oh crap, there's some stuff that's happened here to scorched earth that you may not be able to undo it. And the question is what we've done with the technology, with our kids plugged into devices. Sometimes as a parent, I know you say, hey, just take it away from this and that. And it's like, I don't know what it is. Sometimes I guess it's easier said than done. We turn off the internet at times for my kid, and that's his greatest punishment. But I feel like we should do more.
Assholes can now get into your house when they couldn't before. They're on your devices. Anyone can. My aunt. Okay, I won't say Aunt Ann. I will say somebody else in my family up north. They have. Like Aunt Ann could get into some fights with people sometimes and just be a little rough around the edges. And then she got access to the internet and then she started getting into fight with other people. But I have another person who's even worse than Aunt Ann, and they have a forum now that they never had. And that forum's attracting other people like themselves. And now you've got this big fucking weird forum going on where all of these crazy ideas are.
The crazies have found each other,
Yes.
and it gives them power.
It does. There is strength in numbers, and you're seeing that.
Yeah.
It's just going insane.
No, it really is. I'm in the midst of insanity right now with everything that I'm dealing with my mom being in the hospital, and it's just really kind of insane.
Have you heard anything else from the Colonel?
No, what I'm doing is that's her sister, older sister, and I am just kind of getting her updates and whatnot. But the thing that is baffling is that her sister is still not convinced that my mom's got COVID, and you're just like, okay.
What do you think she
The
has?
hospital's lying?
Do you think COVID's fake?
Well, they think, they're like, well, what test? She's like, because I've heard those tests, like they detect the flu as much as that. I'm like, okay, so what do you think she has? She's like, well, it may just be like a really severe case of her bronchitis. I'm like, no.
Honey.
Yeah, I know, but it's but that's really the interesting thing. And I was thinking back to it because one of the big problems with my mom and her situation was, and I will tell you because I dealt with this exactly last year. Yeah, I had bronchitis. Remember that? I'm like, I got bronchitis. I got diagnosed by a guy who had a degree saying you've got bronchitis. And then it was only because Suits had the COVID that I tested. I'm like, oh, I got COVID. And to me, the only thing that felt different was the headache and the day of tired. That was the only different feeling. You know your body.
Yes,
Right.
you do.
Especially when you have a chronic illness that comes back at the same time. I feel it coming on. I know what it is. I know it so well. It's like an old friend you don't like.
I instantly knew something was wrong with me when I was at Denny's house, and I all of a sudden got the chills and a headache, and I go, you feel something wrong with your body.
Yeah, so, I guess I could see where it would be deceptive, but my mom was like, I've just got the bronchitis. I got the bronchitis. And so she just kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And I'm reading now with a lot of the treatments is a lot of these, they're like within 5 days. You want to
The
start.
best treatments,
Yes.
are early.
Right. So my mom it's nothing. It's just bronchitis, She goes with the Z-Pack. Still has it. She goes to her doctor and is like, hey, I need cough medicine. And at that point, he's like, hey, we might want to check. And I was asking mom because dad is like, hey, I took a COVID test and I'm positive for COVID. I remember even texting mom. I'm like, so do you have COVID? She wouldn't even answer.
What?
I'm like, yeah, and I think it, comes maybe from her sister or them together or whatever. But yeah, it's just odd that I guess they're deniers. I don't even know what it is. I'm like, well, so what is it? You don't want to admit that you have it. And it was just odd that yesterday, my aunt's like, well, I just want to make sure that she's getting the right treatment. They haven't misdiagnosed her. I'm like, I don't know. I think she's in the COVID ward. They seem to know what it is. She's like, yeah, I just hear that sometimes and so, that's all the chatter that's out there. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, I'll have them do a blood draw to make sure that it's the COVID in her blood system, whatever it might be. But yeah, so that's just, all that kind of stuff.
It just annoys me, though, that people without a medical degree are second guessing people that have one. If you don't have a medical degree, who are you to step to a doctor and tell them that they don't know what they're doing?
Well, and respectfully, my mom's doctors and nurses have been great. And I went through yesterday, and look, they're throwing ivermectin and all these kind of hydrochloroquine. And I'm just asking respectfully, saying, hey, look, just let me know from your perspective what this stuff is. You're on the front lines. You've been dealing with this. I know you're reading everything too, and you've got a degree to pair with what you're reading. I'm like, so just what do you think about it? And so, I was going through it, and I was very satisfied that they're giving all these treatments one after another. And I'm like, okay, good.
Is she on that hydroxychloroquine?
No, I don't think so. In fact, I'm going to ask about that one specifically today. But
I know some people that swear by that. I don't know if it's true or not.
It's a delivery system for zinc, and I don't know if she might be past all that kind of stuff even. So. But yeah, there was, a lot of the stuff that you're seeing, the monoclonal antibodies or whatever, she'd had all that. And
I'm so sick of the fucking bickering about all the I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying, just in general, the mask and fuck the COVID and then the vaccine. Everyone, can you all everyone shut the fuck up?
I still don't know why people are still fighting. And I saw this today, and this is rather interesting, and just the era that we're in. And like I said, it's a weird kind of cult thing of them, and just I feel like in some of the ways that they feel on that. And they say people shout when they argue, when they lack confidence. They've done research on this, and they showed that so many people today are overconfident in their beliefs but underconfident about being heard. So we compensate by being loud, and we start shouting it. And I remember I was watching a show one time. I think it was Phil Donahue was on there, and it might have been
Chris Wallace, was it?
I can't remember. I think it was. And he said, loud doesn't make right. And I was like, that is such a great statement, because when somebody is composed and they're calmly just trying to talk and saying, hey, can I have a chance? That's usually a person that's confident in their words. And the person who I usually find to be the nut job is the person that's screaming. And to me, a lot of times in an argument now, when I watch somebody, and if you're the yeller in the argument, you lose the credibility with me.
It depends on what it is. See, I disagree to a certain extent.
It's because you're Italian.
Well, no, you're right. And there are. I come from a baseball background, and you get in. You scream a lot, and the people who are screaming. It's not that they have a lack of confidence. They believe with what they're saying, and they're showing that, hey, I've got your back. I'm defending you. And sometimes I think people who are, because to Virginia's point, I am more of a person that if I'm upset and I believe in something in my heart, I'm gonna be a little bit more loud. It's just the way I am.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of the opposite. If I don't have confidence in what I'm arguing about, I'll be more quiet.
That's me.
But if I have confidence in what I'm arguing with you about, I get louder and I try to overpower you with my word.
If I believe in it, my passion will take over and it will get me a little bit more jacked up. If I'm more calm, I don't know if I believe in that fight.
I'm trying to still figure it out.
Yes, exactly.
How do I feel about this shit?
I want to act like I know what I'm talking about.
Why am I even arguing? Can I just leave?
Yeah.
What am I fighting for?
I think it's different for everybody, and I also think it's depending on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the person. Because
Yes.
different people have a different vibe. Italians, people like me, we get loud.
I mean,
but not everybody's like us.
Italian and a baseball background, you got loud, man. That's what you were taught.
Well, I think today in any discussions, people have them to win. They don't have them to learn.
Sure.
And I think that's the biggest problem. It's like, maybe talk less, listen more, and you might walk away with something that you didn't know before. Just a thought. But
I truly believe that. I think that you don't learn while your mouth is open and you're yapping. Mm-hmm. And I think there's so much for us to learn right now because none of us know anything about all this shit.
What did you say? What did you say? Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Why do you think God gave you 2 ears and one mouth, Virginia?
Oh, that's a good one.
For blowjobs.
For blowjobs.
What are the ears for? The
it's
handles?
hard to get a dick in your ear.
Handles. They are the handles.
God, we're so perfectly made. Thank you for thinking of putting handles on us. No, this way. No, that angle. Come on. One thing a lot of people are learning about is the pineapple thing. We always come around to this. at least about once a year. Cynthia had said, yeah, I laughed my ass off when you guys were talking about the upside-down pineapple for swingers. So this is what my friends did to me this past weekend while we were camping. First time I'd even heard about it. She doesn't know. She's got her RV at a campground. She got the door open. Lovely picnic table is out there. And their friends prominently hang an upside-down pineapple from her door handle. So it looks like she has an open door invite. Just come in and fuck me.
Oh, my.
And bring your friend.
That's
She has no idea.
I love it.
But I mean, that clearly is like a blatant swinger. Hey, and the door's wide open.
it
Look at that.
is. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just in here just ready.
Just ready.
I'm
That's
just ready for
that
you.
is such a fascinating picture because,
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know what's on the other side of that door.
It's inviting, isn't it?
So
It's mysterious.
Yeah.
It's intriguing.
I'm not a swinger, and I might take a peek.
that's what,
Right?
that's what
Yeah.
my neighbor had going on, but it was a piece of decor, not an actual pineapple. But it was up. They had a bunch of them.
I'm not looking to fuck anybody in that trailer, but I want to look inside.
What's happening?
I'd fuck in that trailer. That's a cozy looking trailer.
No, I'm not looking to fuck anybody
Oh,
in.
gotcha. Okay,
Like,
it's not about
walk
the trailer.
in and say, "Hey, who wants to eat me?"
It's not about the trailer. It's about the guy.
Yeah. It's about whoever's in there.
Understood.
Yeah, got that. That was interesting. I saw something, too, the other day. I was at the gas station that I thought was odd. Because I thought I'd figured out a lot of stuff, but then I realized, okay, maybe I don't fully understand what Tesla is. Because I was sitting there and I was in the car. We're pumping the gas and I'm chilling. Is there anything that looks odd in this photo to you? What do you think? Is there something odd about that photo?
It's ironic.
It is a van that says Tesla on the back, and he's filling it up with gas. So, wait, what?
Maybe
Isn't Tesla the electric car?
it is. Maybe it's not economical for them to use their own Tesla vehicles to transport parts.
I guess there's got to be some good explanation because it's a Ford van. I'm like, wait, what? What
Yeah,
is?
They're saying it's a service vehicle.
It's a service vehicle. So
Okay.
those are much cheaper and more economically sound
So
for servicing.
It's not a Tesla
They-
car.
They don't drive electric vehicles when it comes to their service.
No, I don't think they can afford to.
So can you not make an electric van?
Yeah, I'm sure you could.
Absolutely could, but the cost of that compared to the cost of going to buy a work van from Ford is probably about $30,000 difference.
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I'm like, okay, all right, that's interesting. I didn't expect to see that.
And even if you get your Tesla at cost, which you would if you are Tesla, I still think it's cheaper to go to Ford.
Okay.
Ford. That's right.
right.
Ford.
What was that one? I played ball with this one kid. He was such a redneck, and he'd always wear this hat. I'd rather push a Chevy than drive a Ford. And he was so about
Push a Chevy. Okay, first of
Right.
all, I'd rather drive anything than push a Chevy.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big car guy anyway.
Makes
but,
no sense.
But he just loved cars, and he was such a redneck.
Yeah.
I'd rather push that Chevy than push a fucking Ford.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's one where you start a fight with rednecks.
Yeah, it seems like it was a very rednecky thing.
Chevy, Ford, yeah.
Chevy,
Yeah.
yep, absolutely.
Yeah. It's like gangs. Yeah, you'll start a fight
Totally.
and fast. Got a question here. Somebody wants to remain anonymous. They said, I was wondering if you've ever received requests to connect South Florida families that are looking with birth moms in South Florida who have made the decision to place their babies or children up for adoption. I know it's an extremely sensitive topic, but I feel that with your reach in the state and the country, you guys could be beneficial to those of us looking to connect. My husband and I are ready to adopt, but matching with a birth mother seems to take a very, very long time. So I just thought I would ask. Yeah, we can ask. I don't have any information on that. I don't know that.
We can't do that kind of stuff. That requires vetting.
Yeah.
And there are experienced people that do that for a living. And it is a very painful and long process that we just don't have the expertise to try to even get involved in that.
Well, you know all about this.
Well, I know somebody who went through it twice, and the birth mother changed her mind after the baby was born twice.
Oh, wow.
They thought they were getting a baby twice.
Oh, man.
And so it's
Yeah.
it's a whole thing, and you pay for my friend paid for all of the prenatal care for the birth
wow.
mother,
Yeah.
her expenses. She didn't work the entire 9 months. Paid for everything, and then it's totally the birth mother can decide on the day that she doesn't want to give up the baby, and then you're out all that money, and that's the agreement that you have made with her.
That reminds me of a story I heard about somebody who was getting ready to give a kidney to somebody, and at the last minute said, I don't want to give the kidney, and then they were out for and then you're able to do that, but then that person who needed the kidney was like, hello? Shit.
Shit. I was so close.
I believe they ask you one more time before you go on. Are you sure you want to do?
They should.
I'm almost certain they did that.
I mean, if they're doing their due diligence, they got to make sure that they have willing participants.
But that would be. I think the way they do it is you. Let's say I was going to give you my kidney.
You only got one. I wouldn't give me any.
and then I said, no, I'm not going to do it. I don't think they tell you Jason's not going to give you the kidney. I think they say something along the lines of something happened medically and we couldn't do, because I don't think they want the drama.
Yeah.
I think that's what
Gosh,
they
that
do.
would be,
That's what they should do, is
blow.
not tell you that the person
Jeez.
pulled out.
At least back when I gave the kidney, I thought that's how it was so long ago.
Just blame it on something came back with the blood work.
Yes.
And the blood work was all wonky.
I think that's what you do, because that
that'd be a real gut punch.
It'd be devastating.
It'd be
my
uncomfortable
gosh.
when you guys hang out again.
Yeah. Wow. This is a little piece of positivity here. The ongoing saga of River Dave. He was the hermit that was living on that land, and then he got, evicted because I think the person that owned the land then passed away. Their kids took it, from what I understand. And then when River Dave was at court, somebody burned his house down. And Cheryl said, I've been following your stories about River Dave, and this popped up on my Google feed. And this is a good little thing here. It says that River Dave was given $180,000 by a tech billionaire to find him a new home.
Aww.
How cool is that?
That's beautiful.
Yeah, River Dave Lidstone received a significant donation from a tech billionaire.
I
Somebody wanted to
love
help him out.
that.
Yeah. Love a little positivity there.
River Dave was like, wow, this might just force me to not be a hermit anymore.
Yeah.
He seemed like hopeful for the future.
It was kind of interesting because he had a reality with it. And you know what was odd was he's like, I don't know if I love my wife. I was like, wait, what?
Well, River
Oh,
Dave,
shit.
There's a lot of people who have that
like,
issue.
River
River
Dave, you might
Dave.
go lay down on a couch over here and like close the door and, then start talking it through. Like I don't know what happened, but he just started getting real honest real fast.
Don't feel bad, River Dave.
Yeah.
Most husbands once a week say, I don't know if I love my wife.
It just got real. All right, River Dave, we're recording here.
River Dave, you drinking? You get real honest.
River Dave just got a pimp condo in town, and he wants to have a pussy party.
He totally wants to get. Yeah, I don't want the old people anymore. I want the new.
He's like, I have $180,000. I can get a tricked out crib.
And possibly a new woman.
Yeah.
Lots of bitches for that.
Yeah, we had it going on. So there you go. So thanks for that update there. All righty. Appreciate y'all being here on a Tuesday. You guys enjoy yourselves. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.